Meeting to
Mr. Anderson. Mr. Gagel. Mr. Chrysler. Here. Mr. Jacobson. Here. Mr. Johnson.
here.
Mr. Mathias.
Here.
Mr. McHale.
Here. All right, the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, do we have any changes to the agenda as presented? No. Right, I'm going to make a motion to accept the agenda as presented. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Perfect. Let's move on to matters from the public. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the people who said they wanted to speak. Todd Greenwald.
Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Greenwald. I reside at 795 Oak Court, Lake. I'm on the lake. And what I wanted to bring to your attention is just concerns of myself with regards to the ordinance that was passed in 2019 for proper use of the lake bottom. And I've brought up a number of different scenarios working with an individual on your team. With respect to this, some of it has to do, we're a very by the book kind of a family. We follow rules, and I believe an ordinance is put in place to follow the rules of what was passed in 2019. One of those is not to add any moorings with not going beyond 80 feet without the proper approval as well by the Crystal Lake Park District. I have highlighted multiple situations. One of them is right in front of our property, which is part of the North Shore Beach Association. And that was an extension of their boats usage for beyond that public dock that's shared by the association. It started with putting a bunch of poles out in the water, which we started hearing some rumors regarding people that were going to be adding a boat to that property. I do know Jason has been working with that association. It is a concern of ours because it is changing our views. There's also as well as safety issues. That property, that association has also put out swim areas, which this past weekend a boat went right through that and got the ropes tied up in their propellers because it wasn't properly marked with lights as it should be. And the big goals are, really just that to make sure that you as a board is upholding the ordinance, which is in 2019. It does say, just for the record, no homeowners or associations or no homeowner associations or no owners of any single lot may increase the number of boats on a pier, mooring, or boat lifts in existence on such piers, moorings, or boat lifts after 2019. So in 2019, as a reminder, there was satellite views, from my understanding of working with Jason, documenting how the lake is set up with everyone's piers, moorings, and everything like that. And in my opinion, there's been violations in working with Jason on that, as we've highlighted the concern. So my thing as a tax owner and a property owner on the lake is to make sure that we maintain the lake, and the reasoning behind the ordinance was to maintain that and the integrity of it. This is not the only property that I've noted. There's been other moorings that have popped up this summer. A number of them were right around the 4th of July week, as well as boats that did not even have registered boats within the state of Illinois or stickers for use in the lake. So those boats just miraculously kind of showed up. I do believe Jason has worked with some of these situations, but my goal for today was just to highlight the concerns of me as a property owner in Crystal Lake, and that my as well as about the seriousness that I feel the ordinance should be maintained, so people aren't getting away with things that they shouldn't be doing. So that's pretty much all I have to say. I can submit other things that I've highlighted to Jason, but I know there's a lot of things going on in our neighborhood on this topic, but it's not just our neighborhood. There's other structures that were built on top of docks, like little gazebo things and things like that. These are all things that are not supposed to be done. So that's pretty much it. I don't know if anybody has questions. I know it's more public. That's my.
Well, I'll just quickly, so I have been working on this since May with the remodels as well as the. Association. At the October 3rd meeting, the whole meeting, I'll have a whole summary of this whole situation and looking to ask the board for some direction how to handle some things, so.
And I
So
appreciate,
you're aware.
Jason's been very active, on all sides, so I appreciate what you've been doing. I know it's not something that happens all the time from talking to you, so it's kind of but I just want to make sure it's just on a public level, knowing that, hey, we feel there's an ordinance and we all have to drive the speed limit, and that's for a reason, and we all should also follow the rules of the way, and that's for a reason too, so appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, is it Tara?
Yes.
Next.
Hi, I'm Tara Raymond. I am married to Todd. We both reside at 7950 Court, and I'm just gonna add to that, because Jason has been helpful. But in May, we brought to his attention, they were pounding, I think there's 6 metal poles into the lake bed. And they're not attached to the existing pier, so it's a safety issue. We were told you couldn't do anything until a boat arrived. It arrived at 6 a.m. on July 4th. So the whole weekend, nothing could be done. They got to keep their boat there. It wasn't safe. And then you did investigate, and I appreciate that, but I believe there was something that 2 years ago, there was a jet ski, a 5-foot jet ski on a manufactured lift. And so somehow it was okay to keep a 25-foot pontoon boat on metal poles dug into the lake bed with some pool noodles tied to it. And that somehow equated equal. And I just didn't feel any of that was safe. And again, they were allotted 7 boats. So then another family moved in, and somehow they tried to get their boat on the pier. So now we have, was that 9 boats at one point, trying to jockey for a 7-boat pier. And we're just not happy with the association being able to break those rules all summer. The poles are still in, the boat has been removed. And again, they did also, I'm gonna add that they added the swim area and they extended it a couple 100 feet from the existing one that was always there. And it became a hazard to fishing boats. And again, a pontoon boat got caught in his propeller this week. So that is all I have to say, is that we are hoping that the rules will get enforced, and that if any changes are made to the pier, it would be similar to a variance like we do with the city. You change your house or your fence or your yard, you have to get a variance, and neighbors within 100 feet of your residence are notified to come and partake in those changes. So that's our request, is that if and when they request to add additional boats, we as neighbors get to be part of that, and that the rules are enforced. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, nobody else marked if they wanted to speak, but does anybody else want to speak?
If I could,
Sure. You can just tell us your name and where you live.
my name is Peter Gussie. I live in Wonder Lake and a 46-year resident of the county here. I had come up today expecting the report on the Barlina barn. I found out en route that it was postponed until the next meeting, but I figured I'd just say some comments in case I don't make it back. I'm a member of several different historical groups in the county. Strong believer preserving our area's history. Our farming history is one of the biggest parts of this county. That's why the whole county was settled. That atmosphere, the historic sites, the barns, the old farmstead is one of the things that has drawn a lot of people to come and live here. The Barlina barn is the last historic barn in the city of Crystal Lake. And I think if there's any chance of saving that and using it, it should be done. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else that would like to speak? No. All right, thank you, everybody, for your comments. We appreciate it. Okay, make sure I don't take this off. She left it on the clipboard. All right, for the public hearing portion of the agenda. I move to open the public hearing concerning the intent of the Board of Park Commissioners to sell not to exceed $5.5 million general obligation park bonds, alternate revenue source for the payment of land condemned or purchased for park for the building, maintaining, improving, and protecting the same in the existing land and facilities of the district, and for the payment of the expenses included or incident thereto. Is there a second? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, are there any comments from the public? on that matter? Nope. I move to close the public hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. What's that? No unfinished business, correct?
Correct.
All right, for the consent agenda. I am going to move to approve, now I'm gonna read all of it. The voucher expenses for the month ending August 31st, 2024, in the amount of $627,124.33. The interim voucher expenses for the month ending September 30th, 2024, in the amount of $457,892.52. To accept the treasurer's report for the month ending August 31st, 2024, in the amount of $18,079,926.45. To approve the regular meeting minutes from August 15th of 2024. To approve the committee meeting of the whole minutes from September 5th, 2024. To approve the MCYSA 32nd Summer International Championships Tournament request. To approve the Grief Guide fundraiser request. To approve ordinance 24-2506 annexation 1341 Randall Road property. To approve ordinance 24-2507 revisions to the general practices manual policy 9.4 fund balance policy, and to approve resolution 24-2505 Lakewood Meadows Park name. Do I have a second?
I'll place a second on that.
Any, I'll read it. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Heisler?
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobson?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Mathias?
Yes.
Commissioner McKim?
Yeah. Redo discussion.
No.
Alright. Where are we?
No items.
No item.
No new business, no discussion, so
You were
reports to the
kidding.
board.
Okay. Happy birthday. Report, all right, so reports to the board. Let's
Start, just a couple quick things, so at the July board meeting, we presented to the board, there was a potential development happening over on the Emmanuel Lutheran property, and when a new development happens, we're given the option of built out park or a cash donation to the park district. The board moved in the direction of the cash donation. After the last meeting, I wanted to bring it back to the board based on the public feedback we got to see if we want to reconsider. We don't have to make the decision tonight. If we want to have it on the committee of the whole meeting for October 3rd to discuss in more detail, we can. But the plan is going to the Planning and Zoning Commission on October 2nd, and we're going for city council approval on the 17th. So
Okay. I think it's a good idea to talk about it again. Readable.
I missed it.
Right.
okay,
Yeah.
I'll put that on the committee of the whole agenda then for October 3rd.
We just, as the public, we appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Well, I will be at the NRPA conference in Atlanta, October 7th through the 10th. And the due diligence on the maintenance facility is moving along. There's the first walkthrough for the inspection on Monday.
Cool.
So we got all the agreements in place, so
Cool.
everything's moving. That's all I have. Tina?
Just wanted to highlight that we got the award for the
Yes.
audit for last audit. So thank you. And if there's any questions or anything else.
Congrats.
Great work.
Just our big event on Saturday is Flannel Fest, so it should be another nice day for it. It's going to be a little bit too warm for flannels, so most of the staff will be in t-shirts, but we're excited about having it back and should be a fun day.
And there's the best beer contest. I think there's a.
Yeah.
I think you're- Jen?
As you mentioned, Flannel Fest, if anybody would like any tickets, come see me afterwards, so take care of that. marketing's kind of been busy with that, kind of promoting the Best Beard Contest and new this year, a corn on the cob eating contest. Should have had a dentist sponsor that, but we missed that boat, so, we did reach out to see if they could add to the prize bucket though with some kind of kit, but, so, we'll see. With the, adoption of the Lakewood Meadows Park name, marketing will move forward, with getting the construction sign updated with the name and kind of our PR plan for promoting the name and the excitement around that. Next publications we have coming out, late November, early December, but work's already begun on it, is the popular annual financial report. Staff has put together programs and events for the winter spring guide already, and so we're rolling out starting, well, they've been working on it for weeks, and marketing will take that information starting Monday and work through the printing on December 10th release date. So, and that's about it.
All right, yeah, so does the board recall a discussion we had about a lift station at the garage? And then, neighbors.
Oh, yeah.
So I wanted to give you all an update on that. I spoke with the city, our friends over at the city, and they're actually gonna budget this year. January, their budget begins. They're gonna budget, they're gonna see if they can upgrade that lift station. And maintain it and just kind of take it over, that type of thing. So obviously much more to come, so it's very preliminary, but just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that, because I know at first it was kind of, it was take things, but it seems like it's gonna start making more sense, so, yeah. I mean, yeah, it is, it really is, so.
Like it when things make sense.
I do, and in fact, it was great because the gentleman over the city was like, yeah, the park district's really not in the lift station business. I says, you know what, you're absolutely right. So, yeah,
That's why they maintain our stoplight too.
right, exactly. So, yeah, so we'll see how that goes, but I'll keep you all posted as it comes by. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Well, I'm having fun at Halligus. Have you all driven by? friends?
Yeah.
I rode my bike past her the other day. It's amazing. I ride past her quite a bit.
Oh my gosh, nice. We're having bike racks and that's part of the. I just got approval for today for purchasing.
It's amazing how much land they move dry.
Oh my gosh, how many quite a few semis at Lakewood has accepted of the excess soil, subsoils for regrading, which they brought over to Red Tail. So it's been like a benefit. We've been able to help our
Win-win.
Lakewood. It's static.
Like 80.
Huh?
Or did you say 80 or 80?
800 at least semis have gone out on the
What?
site. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing.
Well, we are grading it for stormwater. So, the benefit of being a park district is we are a stormwater facility, right? So we have to design and over-design for stormwater. And we had to take it down so that we could build it up with our facilities, and we stockpiled the topsoil there, and we're hoping to get a couple loads of topsoil to go over to the gold, so we can use it at various parks. Because the topsoil is nice stuff to have, but it's going really well. We're expecting rough grades to be finished tomorrow. And then next week, they're gonna start setting up our proof rolling for the courts. And the one thing that may delay us a little bit, because the contractors are ready to go, is the getting the product. Delays on, the product stuff. Our shelters, we had them ordered since, as soon as you approved the budget back many months ago. And it's just a process of, them getting their stuff lined up and delivered.
So I heard some feedback from some concerned citizens about that big old oak. On the road and how that root zone wasn't properly protected.
Well,
basically.
so, I tried to save the tree. I really tried to. We are required to do so much stormwater on the site that. He was really pushing it, and even the contractor excavating, like, I'm trying. It's gotta come down. I tried, and it's now a hazard. I actually asked Eric to get an unbiased opinion from another arborist, and he recommended we take it down. There's a utility pole right next to it that we have to take down also, but I tried.
Yeah, so I get it. That's like a really noticeable tree right along, and it's an old tree, like hundreds of years old. So there's gonna be a lot of concern about that, understandably. So I think we need to have some educational statement ready to go on why that needed to happen. And what we're gonna do to replace it, not in the same spot.
Why not?
Not in the same spot, but where it's appropriate. You know, where we can mitigate that, the
Yeah.
loss of that.
And I'm hoping when I've asked the Pat, our onsite supervisor, when they do knock it down, because I don't feel comfortable walking around it at this point. When they knock it down, I'm gonna see if I can grab some acorns. If there's any left on the ground. So I was like, oh, I should have thought of that when we were, 2 months ago. But I didn't, that was my bad, because I was hoping we wouldn't be grading too
Right.
close to it, and then they
Right.
had to readjust the site plan when the permit review came back from this, the city
Yeah.
and stuff. So we're detained, most of our park, besides our courts and our playgrounds, it's all detention. It is all detention. You're gonna see a lot of detention basins throughout the whole park.
Yeah, well, yeah, so just having some kind of statement ready and something to
Yeah.
mitigate the loss of that and,
Yeah, luckily
we don't wanna have to lose trees like that whenever it's avoidable.
And obviously we don't either, and
Right,
when we get
right.
those calls from residents, the first thing out of our mouths is. We're the park district, we're the last
Right.
people that wanna take down trees,
Mhm.
but sometimes it has to happen.
Yeah.
And we're totally honest about that, and when Amy came and told me about it, I thought I'd have to get my tissues out. I mean, she was
Right.
very upset about it,
Right.
and as we all are, because we don't like to see good trees come down, especially these historic. trees.
Right.
So.
Right, and when we took down the tree that was just south of it, the maple, I was so glad that I was justified, because I thought it was in bad condition. And you saw, I don't know if you guys saw when driving, riding your bike by it, but it was hollow on the inside, it was all rotted out, and I'm like, yes. It
Yeah.
proved itself, my education felt, came through on what I've learned about trees and being an arborist. But you're right, that would be gorgeous, and that's why I wanted to save it, and.
Does anybody measure it? And get a rough estimate out what it
If
is?
we know its circumference, we can estimate the age.
So then you can kind of think back, that tree was around
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like-
No, we do that, yeah,
Yeah.
it puts it in perspective, you're
Now
like.
you're sounding like your dad.
No.
Apple tree.
It is. It puts it in perspective. But it's important to encourage the next generation of oaks, whether it's an acorn, whether it's a planting, right? Something on that site where it's appropriate and, something that's honoring the oak's kind of legacy in this county, as the keystone species of this county and its historical significance.
Can I ask, where is this located, this tree?
On Halagus Road, it's 6904 Halagus Road is our new park development.
Right
And,
next to the water treatment plant.
Okay,
and I was actually asking if Lamb could have, Burger just kind of like drag it down softly so that we can maybe cut it for tree cookies, but when they're subbing out, they're getting a tree company in there, and I am gonna ask if we could at least do a cut so I can take some photos to get the rings.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, good. Anything else?
No? You guys want a tree cookie?
No, it's safe to make a really cool, like varnished picnic table on it.
Right on the road, like, so
So
good.
Just to say this.
I was thinking it'd be really cool to just do a tree cookie standing on a state, a platform, so you could see all the rings and stuff.
Yeah.
How cool would that be?
See those.
Yeah, so it'd be just the cookie itself, cut a nice wedge, polyurethane it, dry it first, and then that would be really cool.
Yeah, like an interpretive site. I mean, it fits with the whole site, the educational aspect. of
If you
the whole
guys want,
site.
I will happily do that.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
Excuse me, guys, is that an oak tree you were talking about?
Yeah.
Yes.
I hope the park district would take advantage of that antiquity way more than the Dole people did with the big one that they took down over there.
That's exactly what I was
That's very
thinking about.
valuable wood.
It is.
You just don't cut it up and get rid of it. There are a lot of people out there that would buy parts of that. come and take the whole thing away and fix it, because their needs, but don't just junk it.
Barn siding.
Repurpose it.
Okay. All right, so nothing else, right? Any matters from the board? Anybody got? No. All right. Okay, then I am going to move to adjourn the meeting. All in favor? Aye. Aye, any opposed? Okay, we're adjourned. Have you heard of my? There we go.
They just have to file it.